One. We got Gordon Clapp today. Hey, Gordon Clapp, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing all right. Got a little bit of snow down here, and I imagine you have some up there as well.
Oh, we do. We do. Trust me. I just finished shoveling the step before I actually came in communication with you. And I just had a cup of coffee too. It is cold.
Yeah, yeah. It's not too cold here. It's in the 20s, or what would be just below zero up there in your language.
Oh yeah. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. So how you been?
I've been all right. I just finished a run of To Kill a Mockingbird in New York on Broadway, and we wrapped early. Let's say it kind of waited until enough people got COVID to just say, why don't we just finish this in the spring?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a
Uh,
terrible
they
thing.
uh, they should have called it earlier, I think. But I was the third cast member to test positive, and then we were Jeff Daniels was leaving the cast, and Greg Kinnear was taking over his role as Atticus, and um, he did two shows. I wasn't there for those because I was on a 10-day quarantine. So Greg did two shows, and then he tested positive. So his understudy was on for the last week, Chris Invar, who was magnificent in the role. But I think they just decided, let's let's cut to the chase, that ultimately we will anyway, because at this point the thing was spreading so fast that I think they just decided it'd be best to maybe regroup in the spring. The production is phenomenally successful. So they want to keep it going, but it'll probably come back in May or June.
Well, right on, right. And hopefully at that time, Gordon, things will be back to the norm.
Well, we all hope that. We keep seeing that in the crystal ball, but then the crystal ball gets all foggy again.
He exactly, exactly, exactly. You know what? And I like the way you put things too. That's a pretty good way of putting things. The crystal ball of hope.
Yes.
Yes. And well, what can I say? You've had a great career. I mean, also starring as Greg Menavoy in NYPD Blue. I mean, amazing role. What can I say?
Yeah.
I'm sure
Great
you
role.
enjoyed that at the time.
Yeah, it was a great ride. It was a it was funny the way it all happened, because I had auditioned for a couple of roles in the show, for the first few episodes that they were casting as sort of the pilot and the template for the show, and so nothing happened with that. And then on the third episode, they were looking for some people to sort of fill out the squad, and that was one of the roles that came up, but it was just a guest role, and I was kind of like the man who came to dinner. They kept inviting me back, and eventually I became, well, as they say in the mafia, I got made. They made me.
Yep, exactly. And the rest is
I became
history.
a regular, and it was just a great ride. 12 seasons,
Wow.
wonderful group of people I worked with over the years, and I still keep in touch with a lot of them, and it was just a wonderful time in my life.
Oh, certainly, certainly. And of course, you got to act with the late Farrah Fawcett and was it Sacrifice?
Small,
Small
small
Sacrifices. That's it.
sacrifice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You play the detective,
yeah.
and
That was one of my big breaks, and it was we shot that in Edmonton.
okay. So it was shot in Canada. Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know
amazing.
if you knew that I lived in Canada for a number of years.
Actually, weren't you in Cape Breton not too long ago?
Well, I was in Cape Breton in no, it was a long time.
Yeah.
It was
Oh yeah.
35 years ago this summer, actually, this past summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I became a landed immigrant in Halifax in 1974.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know
Uh,
that.
I was up there, traveling, just looking around, and I walked into the theater and I kind of talked my way into an audition, and and John Wood, who was the artistic director at the time, offered me the season there. He said, if you can get through immigration and become a landed immigrant, a resident of Canada, you have a job.
Yeah.
So I went right to work and worked it out. And I was in Halifax for 2 years, and then I was in Toronto and
Wow.
Ottawa, and then back to New York for a year. But I was still doing a lot of work in Canada, and I went back again, and finally left in '89 to go to California. But I kept coming back, and that's when I did Small Sacrifices in 1989.
Exactly. And based on a true story, of course, of a woman who claimed that someone had committed murder on their children when she was the one that did it in the first place.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it was a really good story. I think Farrah Fawcett and you in that role were, dynamite. What can I say? It was quite a a very, very great movie. Very, very sad too at the same time. But with that being said, it was one of the best roles, I have to say, that you did. You and Farrah Fawcett.
Well, thank you for saying that. She was really phenomenal to work with. She was really committed to that role, and she was a little scary.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, and she did. You know what? I saw an interview with the real
Diane Downs.
Yeah, Diane Downs, and to this day, Gordon, she still claims she was innocent.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah. So there you go. There you go. Now another movie you did, which I really like, was with Treat Williams. You ever Treat Williams?
Oh, yeah.
He played a person with a disability, and of course, and the movie kind of testifies to the fact that even people with disabilities deserve to have their rights in life, and of course, their parents.
I was talking about that movie just yesterday with somebody.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of it in a while, but right, exactly. Yeah.
And the part I like so much is that part where Robbie is at the rink and he's being, just being tormented to the point where there's going to be punches thrown here. I can see it coming, but he stayed strong, and you went over with your character and said, that was very tough for you, Robbie. You did the right thing. It was like, right. So he did well.
You remember it better than I do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that movie was 1993. So yeah, so that's a while ago. But yeah, it was what can I say? It was a good movie.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. But I think, weren't you in, like, I was getting back to the Cape Breton conversation. Weren't you in Cape Breton not too long ago? Like, wasn't a few summers ago? Weren't you visiting there or something? I thought someone thought they saw you, and they were telling me, what I thought I saw today. And I said, who's that?
Really?
Gordon Clapp. Yeah. So
I must have a doppelganger somewhere.
Yeah.
I have a very good
somewhere.
friend. I live in Vermont now, and
I
have a very good friend who goes up there every summer.
Okay.
And she does the drums, I forget what they're called. And she goes up to Cape Breton, and she just loves the people up there. And yeah. But my time in Cape Breton, I actually did a couple of movies there. One of them
I Love Song.
The name of, but I don't remember the name of it. It was a historical movie.
Okay.
But the Island Love Song was just just a treat. And working with the Barra McNeils and a lot of the local people. It was just Kenzie McNeil, who was I had worked with in theater in Halifax.
Wow.
Years before.
I remember, and I still remember to this day, Island Love Song, and I saw it more than a few times because relations of mine. Now, I'm not related to Bria McDonald, but her uncle is my brother-in-law. So I mean, it's in a way we're kind of, well, close. I mean,
Anne Marie's uncle is your brother-in-law. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah. Well, no. The one that played Bria. Well, Bria's real name. Well, Bria in the movie.
Oh, Bria. Okay.
Bria. Yeah, Bria.
Right.
Bria
Right,
McDonald.
Bria. Oh
Yes,
yeah,
yeah, Bria
yeah.
McDonald. Yeah,
She was just
yeah.
she was what? I guess she was 9 or 10 years old
Oh,
at the
she'd
time.
have to be easy,
Yeah,
easy. So yeah,
yeah.
but anyways, her uncle
She's
is
probably a
my
grandmother by now.
no, no, she's not. No, no. Bria's only a few years, only probably 2 years younger than I am. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
oh yeah. No, Bria, no, no, no. Bria's about 2 years younger than me, but I mean, she's her uncle is my brother-in-law. So
Okay.
yeah, so, but that was a definitely a great, and you got to work with the Barry McNeils. I mean, a lot of people, I mean, a lot of Americans can't say, God, I actually worked with the Barry McNeils from Cape Breton in a movie. I mean, that's I mean, that's far out.
Well, I'll tell you something. They wouldn't let me sing.
Yeah, I know
It
you lip
was
synced
it
it.
was Ian. Ian was singing.
Yeah, I
Uh,
know. Oh yeah.
I tried to talk him into it, and and they, they before I knew it, it was already done. It was a done deal. I said,
Uh-huh.
okay, so when am I going to come in and lay down a soundtrack? You know what? We already took care of that. We just, we didn't have time. And I go, yeah, you really didn't want me to sing, did you?
Yeah, my goodness. It's about a man who was he comes home to Cape Breton and falls in love with his with a student, wasn't it? I mean,
With a student,
yeah.
yeah, and was all set to go back to Toronto with her.
Uh-huh.
She was going back, and or she, I guess she was going, she was going to Toronto for a job, and he was going to go back, and they were going to be together in Toronto. And his older brother died, and he became the patriarch, and was a dutiful son, and grandson, and stayed in Cape Breton.
Yeah, and right at the end of that movie, that part, because you'll see, well, he passed away since then, but there was a priest you'll see at the end of it. He just made a cameo, you could say. Father Rankin, he was there.
Oh
And because
yes,
that was
forgot
filmed in
that.
Glendale. That last bit of it was filmed in Glendale because it's at the Glendale thing, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so so I mean, it was definitely it's quite an honor to know that great Americans like yourself came to Cape Breton to do a movie. I mean, you look for example, Gordon, look at Keeler Sutherland did a movie in Glace Bay down here,
Right.
The Bay Boy.
Yeah.
So I mean, but then again,
Yeah, that was his first movie, I believe.
I believe so too. So it's just great to know that great Americans like yourself and many more who maybe have been born in Canada then moved out to the U.S. will do a movie, down here in Canada.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to come back and
Oh yeah.
do more in Cape Breton.
Right on.
It
Right.
was it was funny because I was living in Toronto at the time, and when I came up, they were kind of suspicious of me. They said, "So you're from Toronto, eh, boy?" And I went, "Actually, I grew up in New Hampshire."
Okay.
Oh, of course, you're one of us. You're one of us. Well, come on over tonight. Bring your fiddle. And I went, well, I'm not that. I'm not that. I'm not that much of a caper. I don't. I don't. I don't possess a fiddle. But just great people, and it was just a wonderful summer that
well,
we spent there.
well,
And the great Anne Marie McDonald.
yeah.
Just still, she's such a wonderful writer and an actor, and I've totally lost touch with her, and hope that I can reestablish touch with her someday. But I've really lost touch with a lot of friends in Cape Breton, or in Canada,
Oh yeah.
because I've been my time during NYPD Blue, I was, there wasn't much time to do much else. But it's been 15 years since then, and I've done a lot of stage and other film and television, Chicago Fire, and I just did a couple of cameos in American Rust and Mayor of Easttown, which was on HBO.
Oh.
So I've been busy, but I'd sure love to get back up there and do some more work.
Well, you never know. You never know. You also acted with now here's another great actor that really fond of. I'm fond of a lot of great actors and actresses. would be Tim Daly.
Hmm.
Uh,